Hey everyone, it's Tony with Hidden Light Photography. Do you want to get more pop and pull some more color out of your one-shot color images? Then stay tuned because that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss out on any valuable information. Now let's jump on in and learn how to really enhance our one-shot color images. If you're looking to get your one-shot color images to really pop and stand out, and you don't want to use masks or deal with the intricacies of using masks, then this tutorial is for you. I'm going to demonstrate this using IC 1805. Now this image was taken with an ASI 2600 MC camera. Now to start off, we need our master light file, and then we're going to separate the color channels. We'll minimize our master light file, and then I'm going to name each channel so I can easily identify it. Blue, I'm going to name 03. Green, I'm going to name S2. And red, I'm going to name HA. Right-clicking on each image will bring up this little window, and you just click Identifier. I'll minimize all three channels and move off to the side so I can easily get to them. We'll start off with HA. We'll do a 24-bit stretch factor, and then we'll do the same for S2 and 03. Now, what we're going to end up doing is cropping each image. We want to make sure that we get rid of any and all stacking artifacts. So we'll scan the sides of our image and ensure that we don't have any stacking artifacts. If you find stacking artifacts, make sure to crop enough to remove all of your stacking artifacts, as that can cause issues with background extraction. What we're going to do is go to Process, All Processes, and we'll come down to Dynamic Crop. We'll go ahead and draw a cropping block in the image. And the image, all three of them, need to be cropped exactly the same. So once you have your cropping block exactly where you want it, what we're going to do is go into Dynamic Crop, grab the triangle, drag it, and drop it onto the workspace. Now, S2 here is going to be our reference image, so we're going to crop that one last. We'll exit out of Dynamic Crop. We'll open up HA and double click on the process icon that we just placed onto the workspace. We'll hit the green check mark, and then we'll exit out of Dynamic Crop. We'll minimize HA, open up 03, double click on the process icon, hit the green check mark, and then close out of Dynamic Crop again. We'll minimize 03, and finally we're left with S2, our reference image. We'll double click on the process icon and click the green check mark. Now we can exit out of Dynamic Crop and close out of the process icon. Now, HA, 03, and S2 have all been cropped identical. Next, we need to take care of any potential issues with the stars. That can also affect background extraction. We'll go to Process, All Processes, and we'll come down to BlurXterminator. We'll ensure that Correct Only is checked, triangle, drag and drop. So now S2 has had correction only done, and we're going to go ahead and do the same for HA and 03. I'll minimize S2, open up 03, triangle, drag and drop. And finally, we'll open up HA and do the same thing. Now we'll exit out of BlurXterminator, and we need to run background extraction. For that, we'll go to Script, SETI Astro, Automatic DBE, and hit Execute. I'll do a 24-bit stretch, and then I'll exit out of the original HA, and then rename the HA underscore ADBE to HA. I'll go ahead and minimize HA, open up O3, go to Script, SETI Astro, Automatic DBE, and hit Execute. I'll do a 24-bit stretch, exit out of the original O3, and rename the new one O3. And then we'll do the same thing on S2. We'll exit out of the original S2 image, rename the new one S2. Now what we need to do is run the full BlurXterminator on all three, HA, O3, and S2. Now, since these are already grayscale, we do not need to extract the luminance. What we'll do is go into Script, Image Analysis, and Full Width Half Max Eccentricity, or FWHM Eccentricity, and click Measure. Now here, the median full width half max is 1.426. We'll round this to 1.43. We'll go ahead into Process, All Processes, and go to BlurXterminator. We'll uncheck Correct Only and make sure Automatic PSF is also unchecked. That'll allow us to enter in a value for PSF diameter, which we'll go ahead and enter in 1.43. Triangle, drag and drop. Now HA has the full BlurXterminator run. We'll minimize HA, go into O3, Script, Image Analysis, Full Width Half Max Eccentricity, and click Measure. We have a median full width half max of 1.424, which will also be 1.43. So the PSF diameter that we just entered will also work. Triangle, drag and drop. And finally, we'll go into S2, Script, Image Analysis, Full Width Half Max Eccentricity, and click Measure. Here we have a full width half max median of 1.404. I'll go ahead and round this to 1.41. Generally, if it's between 1 and 2, I'll round it down. If it's 3 and up, I'll round it up. I've just found that that gives me the better results. So here, I'm going to go ahead and put in 1.41. Triangle, drag and drop. Now HA, O3, and S2 have had the full BlurXterminator run. We'll exit out of BlurXterminator. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to go to Process, All Processes, and we're going to go to Noise Exterminator. I'll go ahead and use a value of 0.7, triangle, drag and drop. Now we're just looking for a little bit of noise to be left. We don't want to completely smooth out the image, but we do want to get rid of the noise that's there. So as you can see here, we still have a little bit of noise left, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We'll minimize S2, open up O3. This one's a little bit more severe, so I'm going to go 0.8. And as you get used to your data and how Noise Exterminator reacts with it, you'll get a feel of which value you need in order to achieve the results you're looking for. Finally, HA. HA is generally the least noisy channel. I'm going to go ahead with 0.6. And that got rid of it nicely. Finally, we need to remove the stars from HA, O3, and S2. So we'll go to Process, All Processes, and we'll go to BlurXterminator. Make sure Generate Star Image and Unscreen Stars is checked. Triangle, drag and drop. Now the stars are removed from HA, and we'll go ahead and do the same for O3 and S2. So now the stars are removed from HA, O3, and S2. We'll go ahead and minimize everything and group them together. We'll exit out of BlurXterminator, and then we'll check our images for any blemishes. Now in this data set, I know I have that right there. So I'm going to go into Script, SETI Astro, and Blemish Blaster. I'll click Auto STF. I'll zoom out just a little bit, locate my blemish, which is right here. We'll zoom back in. Hold Shift, center up the cursor with the blemish, apply the main image, and drag the mouse. We'll click Execute and apply the main image. And then we'll do the same thing for O3 and S2. So now the blemishes are removed from HA, O3, and S2. We'll exit out of Blemish Blaster. And now's the fun part. Now it's time to stretch the images. Now in my original PixInsight workflow tutorials, on one-shot color, I separate out the color channels, I balance them, and then I recombine them. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be working these images individually. And the reason is the more prominent that you make a channel, the more prominent the colors and the detail that you get from that channel. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So here we're going to go to Script, SETI Astro, Statistical Stretch. Now, I like to do a preview of 1/8. Let's go ahead and make the window bigger so we can see. Now, this is a nebula that is filling the image, and the recommended starting point for target median is 0.25. Here's 0.25. Now, if we were to go ahead and lower this to, let's say, 0.1, and then preview refresh, you'll see that it darkens up the background. It's going to be tempting to do this. Don't do it. I'm going to show you why here in the next step. Execute. Let's go to 0.25. We'll refresh the preview and click Execute. Now we're going to do the same thing for O3 and S2. I'm just going to go ahead and execute with the default settings, just like we did on HA. So now HA, O3, and S2 have all been stretched with the same SETI Astro statistical stretch settings. Let's go back into HA. And what we're going to do here, this is where the fun begins. We're going to go to Process, All Processes, and we're going to go to Curves Transformation. We'll reset Curves Transformation in case there's anything in there from a previous project. And this is the outside of the box way of doing this. We're going to open up a preview. And we're going to work with RGB/K. This is going to be contrast. If we take the lower left and we drag it down, that darkens up our background. If we take the upper right and drag it up, it brightens up our nebula. Let's go ahead and reset this, and we're going to work our background down. And we're also going to make sure that we keep our nebula in the areas that we want brighter. So here's before, here's after. Before, after. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. I'm going to reset. And I'm going to bring the background down again just a little bit. Here's before, and here's after. Let's go ahead and accept that. Let's reset. And let's see what happens if we bring some of this down just a little bit. Because remember, the more prominent we make this now, the more prominent it's going to be in the image. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. We'll exit out. Let's exit out of the preview. And one other thing that I want to show you, if we click and hold in the background, we have X, Y, and K. K is our background value as of right now, where the cursor is. Here we see 0.0395. We want to make sure the backgrounds in all three images match as close as possible. If they don't match, goofy things can happen. So let's try to stay right around the 0.03 to 0.04 range. So let's go ahead and minimize HA. Let's open up O3. We'll go to Process, All Processes, and we're going to come down to Curves Transformation again. We'll open up a preview. And let's start working that background down. Now you don't want to go too much because then you're going to end up losing some of the information here. Notice how now we lost some of this up here. So if we just work this a little bit at a time, we'll brighten up some of that nebulosity again. Here's before, here's after. Let's accept. Let's bring it down just a little bit again. And you can really work whichever part of this that you want. And it doesn't really matter what that curved line looks like. Here's before, and here's after. Before and after. Let's go ahead and accept that. And here we're really just going for taste. What do we like? Now let's go ahead. Let's check our background really quick and see where we're at. We're a little bit bright. So I'm going to go ahead and drag my background down. Drag it down just a little bit more. Let's bring some of this nebulosity back up. Let's accept. There we go. We'll minimize O3 and let's work S2. Bring the background down, keep our nebula in check. And let's check our background. Still got a little bit more to go. There we go. Now is where the fun starts. Let's go to Process All Processes, and let's go to Channel Combination. And what we're going to do here is we're going to assign HA to red. We're going to assign S2 to green, and we're going to assign O3 to blue. Now, unlike mono, one-shot color has a Bayer matrix. All of your channels, whatever filter that you're using, so for example, the Optilong L Ultimate filter focuses hydrogen alpha, oxygen 3. They're all imaged at the same time. So there's no individual imaging, so you want to make sure that these line up. HA was our original red channel, S2 was our original green channel, O3 was our original blue channel. So we want to put them in. And then once you have them in this way, we're going to hit the circle. And here's our image. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let's exit out of channel combination. Let's check for any noise that may have happened during processing so far. And you can see that we gained a little bit of noise. I'm going to go into Process, All Processes, Noise Exterminator. I'm at 0.6. I'm going to leave it there since the noise is minor. And then now that the noise is removed, what I'm going to do here is exit out of Noise Exterminator. I'm going to go into Process All Processes, and I'm going to go to Narrowband Normalization. I have HOO selected. I'm going to open up a preview, and here's HOO. So I'm going to go accept that. We'll exit out of Narrowband Normalization, exit out of the preview. And now what I want to do is go to Process All Processes, and I'm going to go to Multiscale Linear Transform. Now I'm going to add a layer. Layer 5 is going to be 0.025. Layer 4, 0.05. Layer 3, 0.075. And then layer 2, 0.1. And then I'm going to triangle, drag and drop. And now we're sharpened. From here, let's exit out of Multiscale Linear Transform. Let's go into Process All Processes and go back into Curves Transformation. I'm going to go to Luminance here. I'm just going to brighten up. Let's open up a preview. I'm going to brighten this up just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to start drowning out the colors. We'll go to Saturation, and let's boost some saturation here. Let's go ahead and accept that. That might be a little bit too much saturation, but let's have a little bit of fun with this. Let's go ahead and accept that. And then we'll exit out of Curves Transformation, exit out of the preview, minimize. And finally, we're going to stretch our stars so we can apply them to our image. Now, since this image was taken with a dual narrowband filter, there's a specific way to do this for the SETI Astro narrowband to RGB star combination. Now, we've already removed these stars from the image, so what we need to do is go into Process, All Processes, and we're going to go to Channel Combination. For red, we're going to assign HA stars. For green, we're going to assign S2 stars. And for blue, we're going to assign O3 stars. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to hit the circle. Now from here, don't stretch them, because what will end up happening is you're going to get an ugly mess like this. So let me exit out of that. Let's go and hit the circle. Let's exit out of channel combination. We're going to go to script, SETI Astro, and we're going to go to narrowband to RGB star combination. From here, one shot color, we're going to add our dual narrowband filter image. So here, our image is image 219. So we're going to find image 219. We're going to apply a star stretch, and we're going to hit execute. And there you have it. Let's go ahead and exit out of this, and we're left with our narrowband to RGB underscore stars. Now to apply, we're going to open up our IC1805 image, and for our stars back pixel math formula to work, our two images need to match in name. So for the primary image, we're going to name this HOO. And for the stars back formula to work, the stars image has to have underscore stars, but the name needs to match our primary image. In other words, our stars image will be HOO underscore stars. We'll hit OK, minimize, and then all we need to do with pixel math is triangle, drag and drop. Now, before I show you the comparison, I want to show you the power of this method. I'm going to go ahead and clone HA really quick. I'm going to go into Process All Processes. I'm going to go into Curves Transformation. And I'm going to go into RGB/K. And I'm going to boost HA just a little bit. I'm going to accept that and exit out of the preview. And I'm going to go to Process All Processes, Channel Combination. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the circle. This was with the original HA. And now for red, I'm going to swap HA with HA clone. HA clone has the boosted red signal. And I'm going to hit the circle again. And here, you can see there's a lot more red in the image. You want more blue? All you need to do, let's clone 03. And let's go into Process All Processes. And let's go into Curves Transformation. And let's go ahead and boost 03. We'll accept. Let's exit out of the preview. And I'm going to put the original HA back in. And I'm going to go ahead and swap 03 for 03 clone. 03 clone has the boosted 03 signal. And I'm going to hit the circle. Now we have more blue. And that's how you boost the different colors, the different signals using this method. And now for the comparison from old to now. Here's the original IC1805 displayed in the HOO color palette. And here's the enhanced version of IC1805, same data, same color palette, but enhanced using this method. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. And if you did and want to help support the channel, check out that join button and consider becoming a Hidden Light Photography member. There's lots of perks in it for you, and your support really helps me create more useful tips and tricks. Also, do me a favor. That channel icon that popped up, hit that channel icon and subscribe. I don't want you to miss out on any valuable information. Drop a comment in the comment section. Do you have any questions? Did you learn anything new? And then, check out that next video. Until the next time, clear skies.